Sit back, relax, and watch the world glide by. Train travel is heavily marketed as a peaceful escape, a chance to sit in a climate-controlled cabin while lush green valleys and historic viaducts roll silently past your window. But step inside the driver's cab, and that tranquil illusion vanishes. When a high-speed train plunges into heavy rain or blinding fog, the landscape transforms into a high-stakes physical obstacle course. This animation illustrates the core physics problem of driving a train. You have hundreds of tons of forward momentum, absolutely no steering capability, and a stopping system that relies entirely on a single contact patch between a smooth steel wheel and a smooth steel rail that is only a fraction of an inch wide. The beautiful scenery outside the passenger window is actually the railway's most persistent enemy. Defeating it and stopping that massive weight safely requires a hidden arsenal of engineering. For decades, bringing a train to a halt relied entirely on human biology. A driver had to manually spot trackside signals with their naked eye, even through driving rain or freezing fog. Early steam locomotives lacked basic amenities like windshield wipers. Drivers routinely had to lean their heads entirely out of the cab, into freezing snow and soot just to read the track ahead of them. Today's cabs feature rain-repellent glass and high-speed wipers, but human vision still has hard biological limits. At modern speeds, by the time a driver spots a danger signal through heavy weather, the physics of momentum mean it is already too late to manually apply the brakes. Relying on human eyesight and poor visibility has led to catastrophic errors, like the fatal 1999 collision at Ladbroke Grove, where a driver missed a red signal hidden by challenging lighting conditions. This schematic shows the modern mechanical solution, the Train Protection and Warning System, or TPWS. It places an invisible electronic sensor directly on the tracks. If a train passes a danger signal or travels too fast on approach, the system bypasses the driver completely. It automatically takes control and locks the brakes, forcing the train to a halt. To prevent high-speed collisions, safety control had to be taken away from human perception and handed over to the track itself. But visibility is only half the battle. Down on the rails, one of the most disruptive forces in the rail network is a simple autumn leaf. When wet leaves fall on the track, the immense weight of a passing train compresses the matter, instantly baking it into a hard, slippery paste. The industry calls this the Teflon effect. The railhead becomes so slick that steel wheels can no longer grip the track, making both accelerating and braking wildly unpredictable. This loss of adhesion is so severe that players of digital train simulators struggle to halt commuter models like the Class 158 under leaf fall conditions. In this cutaway diagram, we can see the train's primary onboard defense against slick rails, wheel slide prevention, or WSP. Digital sensors constantly monitor how fast the wheels are rotating compared to the actual forward speed of the train. If the system detects a slide, it functions exactly like the anti-lock brakes in your car. It rapidly pulses the brake pads on and off, preventing the wheel from locking up and sliding out of control across the slick track. When pulsing the brakes isn't enough, trains deploy a second line of defense, rail head sanding. They fire a targeted blast of coarse grit directly onto the rail, physically rebuilding traction on the fly. Bringing a train to a safe stop in autumn requires an active, ongoing physics battle to manufacture friction where nature has erased it. Beyond the immediate track surface, the surrounding terrain presents an entirely different threat. Massive geological features loom over some of the world's most scenic routes. Remote mountainous valleys are prone to unpredictable rockfalls and landslips. A boulder resting on the track around a blind curve carries enough mass to derail a heavy passenger service in an instant. In historic trouble spots like Scotland's Pass of Brander, monitoring for falling rocks used to require local visual checks. This reliance on human observation led to frequent false alarms, high maintenance costs, and massive delays across the network. This schematic shows how the industry solves the problem today using remote condition monitoring. Digital sensors are embedded directly into the rocky slopes, tracking microscopic shifts in the terrain and wirelessly beaming the data to a central control hub. If the Earth moves, the network sends a warning signal directly into the driver's cab. The train begins decelerating miles before it ever reaches the hazard. Securing a route through the mountains requires transforming the landscape from a passive backdrop into an active, communicative safety network. When you settle into a comfortable window seat and watch a rain-soaked valley glide by, you are experiencing the final product of over a century of problem solving. We've moved from soot-covered drivers leaning out of windows in freezing fog to glowing digital schematics, automated braking overrides, and dynamic track sanding. The serene passenger experience is a highly engineered illusion. Every perfectly smooth, scenic stop at a station is the direct result of an invisible machine successfully conquering the forces of nature beneath it.